The early American frontier was a world of profound silence, broken only by the subtle sounds of nature, the snap of a twig, the distant call of a wolf, the whisper of wind through pines. In this vast, untouched expanse, every sound carried meaning, and every moment was shaped by the land's quiet power. For those who ventured into this untamed land, silence was both companion and threat. It was a presence that could comfort or unsettle, depending on what the darkness concealed. Alone for hundreds of miles, these frontiersmen, long hunters, mountain men, lived by nature's rules. Their lives were shaped by the rhythms of the wild, and their fates tied to the land's unpredictable moods. Survival meant moving like a shadow, blending into the landscape, listening with every sense. Every step was measured, every breath deliberate, as they became attuned to the forest's secrets. The forest watched with unseen eyes, and every day tested their endurance and will. The wilderness was alive, always aware, and never truly tamed. Dangers were constant, sudden blizzards, broken bones, prowling predators, and the crushing weight of isolation. Even the smallest mistake could mean disaster, and the land offered no forgiveness. The wilderness could break a person's spirit as easily as their body. Nights were long, and the cold could seep into the soul, testing resolve and hope. To survive, they learned patience, quiet confidence, and respect for the land. Every lesson was earned, and every skill was a lifeline. The frontier did not yield to force, but to observation and humility. Only those who listened and adapted could hope to endure. These men were not masters, but students of the wild. They shared stories and wisdom, passing down hard-won knowledge from one generation to the next. The lessons were harsh, the price of failure absolute. The wilderness demanded everything, and sometimes it took more than a man could give. Yet for those who learned to read the land's signs, the wilderness offered freedom and a deep, unspoken bond with the continent's wild heart. In its silence they found meaning and belonging. Their survival was not a conquest, but an immersion. They became part of the land, shaped by its challenges and its beauty. They walked softly, lived quietly, and became part of the wilderness itself. Each day was a testament to their resilience and adaptability. It was a life lived on the very edge of existence, where every sunrise brought new challenges and every sunset was a hard-won victory. To the untrained eye, the forest floor is chaos. To the frontiersman, it's a living page of stories. Every bent blade, overturned stone, and faint track held meaning, vital clues for survival. Tracking was as important as marksmanship, revealing not just what passed, but when and why. He read fresh tracks, nibbled saplings, and even droppings to anticipate his prey's next move. The forest spoke in subtle signs, the alarm call of a jay, the flight of birds, and he learned to listen. This language, learned through patience and intuition, was the key to life and safety in the wild. Hunting on the frontier was an art of patience and silence, still hunting. This method was not just a skill, but a way of life for those who depended on the land. Every hunt was a test of endurance, requiring the hunter to become part of the landscape itself. The hunter moved slowly, a few steps at a time, always into the wind, using terrain for cover. Each footfall was deliberate, every pause a chance to listen for the faintest sound. The forest was both ally and adversary, offering concealment but demanding constant vigilance. Every movement was calculated to avoid sound or scent. He became a ghost in the woods, blending with the rhythm of the forest. The hunter's senses sharpened, attuned to the subtle language of leaves, wind, and wildlife. Hours might pass in stillness, watching for the flick of an ear or the flash of a tail. The forest camouflaged its creatures. The hunter trained his eyes to see what others missed. Patience was rewarded only by those who truly understood the wild secrets. When the moment came, he had one chance for a clean, ethical shot. A single crack of the rifle shattered the silence. Success was never guaranteed, but every hunt was a lesson in humility and respect for the life taken. The still hunt demanded discipline, respect, and a profound understanding of the wild. It was a meditative practice, one that defined the frontiersman's relationship with nature, shaping not only his survival but his very spirit. Without maps or compasses, the frontiersman navigated by memory and the land itself. Rivers and streams were his highways, always leading to larger waters or settlements. He read the character of water, the lay of the land, and marked trails by blazing trees, moss on trunks, the flight of birds, and the sun's path all offered direction. Unique landforms, peaks, outcrops, waterfalls became anchors in his mental map. He committed every detail to memory, building a reliable guide within his mind. Getting lost meant death. Knowing the land meant survival. The wilderness was not just traversed, it was memorized, lived, and understood. When landmarks failed, the frontiersman looked to the sky. The sun's path gave direction by day. At noon it marked true south. A stick and its shadow could reveal east and west, the shadow tip method. At night, Polaris, the North Star, was a constant beacon found by tracing the Big Dipper. This celestial knowledge ensured he could always find his way, even after a long hunt. The sky was his compass, connecting him to the grand cycles of the cosmos. Reading sun and stars was essential, practical, and comforting. Even in the wildest places, order and logic could be found above. On the frontier, fire was life, warmth, safety, food, and hope. Matches were rare. Flint and steel were the tools of survival. Char cloth, made from scorched linen, caught the spark. A practiced strike sent sparks onto the cloth, creating a fragile ember. This ember was cradled in a tinder bundle, dry grass, bark, or fluff, and gently blown to flame. Fire-making was a skill of precision and patience, often in the worst conditions. From a single spark, a life-sustaining fire grew. Mastery of fire was the difference between life and death. Fire gave warmth, but shelter was protection. The lean-to, built from saplings, bark, and boughs, was the frontiersman's quick refuge. A fallen log or rock face served as a back wall and heat reflector. Layers of bark or evergreen boughs shed rain and snow, moss and mud blocked the wind. A bed of pine boughs insulated from the cold ground. Clothing was layered, linen, buckskin, wool, trapping warmth and shedding moisture. Shelter was improvised, efficient, and essential for survival. Ingenuity and adaptation turned the wild into a temporary home. On the frontier, nothing was wasted. Every resource was precious. Meat was eaten fresh or dried. Hides became buckskin for clothing and gear. Bones were tools. Awls, needles, scrapers. Antlers became handles. Hooves made glue. Sinew became thread and cordage. Stomachs and bladders were waterproof containers. Tallow made candles and waterproofed leather. Every part of an animal had a purpose. born of necessity and respect. This philosophy was survival, efficiency, and gratitude in action. The frontiersman's ingenuity turned the wild's gifts into tools for life. Today, frontier skills seem like relics, replaced by technology and convenience. The world moves at a rapid pace, and the old ways are often left behind, gathering dust in the corners of our collective memory. We've lost the deep connection to nature that once meant survival. Our ancestors relied on their senses and intuition, forging a bond with the land that shaped their every decision. The language of the forest is silent, not because it stopped speaking, but because we stopped listening. The rustle of leaves, the call of distant birds, and the subtle signs of wildlife go unnoticed by most. Yet the frontiersman's legacy endures, in stories, in outdoor enthusiasts, in those seeking reconnection. Each campfire tale and every shared adventure keeps the spirit alive. Learning these skills is more than a hobby. It's a return to resourcefulness and awareness. It's a way to rediscover patience, creativity, and the satisfaction of self-reliance. They remind us of our resilience and our bond with the earth. These moments reconnect us to something timeless and essential. The frontier spirit is a testament to human adaptability and respect for nature. It inspires us to face challenges with courage and humility. Remembering these skills is a powerful echo from the past, a reminder of the quiet strength within us all, waiting to be awakened in the modern world.